What does a top-down directive from DC look like when it hits a real campus with real students, real staff, and not enough funding?
Hit it! That's what I'm talking about. Wait!
Okay, now, from the beginning.
Hit it, boys.
Welcome to Higher Ed Pulse, your no-fluff guide to artificial intelligence in higher ed. I'm Mallory Willsea, bringing nearly 20 years of edtech and marketing expertise straight to your earbuds. Higher ed leaders are expected to master AI overnight, but let's be real, no one has time to sift through every headline, hot take, or research report. That's why every Monday I'll break down what actually matters, fast, clear, and to the point. Want to sound like the smartest person in the room at your next team meeting? You're in the right place. Let's dive in. Welcome back to Higher Ed Pulse. On today's episode, a new executive order is pushing AI into every corner of American education from K-12 to college to career. But here's the real question. What does a top-down directive from DC look like when it hits a real campus with real students, real staff, and not enough funding? Today, we're breaking down what the new AI Education for American Youth order actually says, where the pressure points are for colleges, and how campuses are turning national policy into local action. Joining me today is John Carrere, the director of the Office of Recruitment and First-Year Experience at Pitt Community College, where he's helping redefine what it means to engage and support today's students from day one. He's been recognized as a under 40 higher ed leader, and he's one of the driving forces behind Pitt's bold work with AI-powered communication and student success tools. He's a practitioner, a strategist, and someone who's not just watching AI reshape higher ed, he's actively shaping what it looks like on the ground. Okay, John, we asked the tough questions first here on The Pulse, and this episode is dropping on Cinco de Mayo, so I gotta know, if you could only celebrate with one, tacos or margaritas, what are you picking?
Mallory, as a tried and true parrot head, I have to say that Jimmy Buffett has directly led me to believe that Cinco de Mayo is best celebrated with a lime margarita.
Incredible.
Salt on the rim. You got to do it. I know I'm a big fan of tacos, sure, but when it comes to Cinco de Mayo, there's no better way to celebrate than a frosty, frozen, blended margarita.
I feel like we just need to start chanting salt right now. Like
salt, salt, salt. Yeah, I'm sure all the parrot heads on the podcast right now are singing "Wasting Away" in Margaritaville, and I'm not going to try. I'll leave that to them as they ride along in their vehicles and their earbuds. But I want to attract listeners, not drive them away. But yeah, definitely margaritas would be my choice for Cinco de Mayo.
All right, you know what? I am completely there with you. Margaritas all the way, even better if it's got a tahini rim. So, John, when we're in Charlotte at the Engage Summit, what are we doing? We're getting margaritas.
We're going to find the best spot. The first round's on me. I got that one. I'm not done with tahini yet, though. And we could probably spend the entire podcast just talking about our favorite margarita flavors. But
oh my gosh.
I know that's not why you brought me on today.
I appreciate you attempting to bring us back to the executive order, but we really could just spend the next 5 minutes. You know, it's frozen versus on the rocks. Do you like fruit in your margarita? Is it the salt or the sugar or the tahini rim? I mean, there's so many things that we could. All right, who needs an executive order, y'all? You just showed up to the margarita debate of 2025. No?
I can hear people right now on the podcast turning their vehicles from work. They're like, I'm calling in sick today. We're going to the nearest restaurant. We got to get one.
All right. Well, I mean, let's earmark this for a future conversation, but I will bring us back in. Although now all of a sudden listenership just dipped because they're all upset that we're not staying on the margarita train. Yeah. All right, y'all. We're going to dive into our topic this week. Since returning to office, President Trump has moved fast to reshape federal AI policy, repealing Biden's oversight order, rolling back guardrails, and pushing a new America First AI agenda. He just hit his first 100 days, and we've seen a full-scale pivot towards deregulation and industry acceleration. The White House has made it clear AI innovation shouldn't be slowed by ethics red tape or what they call ideological bias. Then on April 23rd came the biggest education-specific move yet, a new executive order titled AI Education for American Youth. It's sweeping. It directs agencies to integrate AI education from kindergarten through college. It calls for new AI courses, faculty training, student challenges, and workforce pipelines. It prioritizes community colleges, lifelong learners, and partnerships with the private sector, and it puts real pressure on institutions to reimagine curricula and modernize advising and student services with AI quickly. But here's the thing. The executive order doesn't come with new funding, it doesn't come with infrastructure, and it doesn't even come with clear implementation guidance. So what does this mean for enrollment and marketing leaders trying to communicate value in this shifting landscape? What does it mean for student success teams being asked now to do even more with less, while also personalizing every message and showing those workforce outcomes? And how are institutions like where John works navigating this moment where AI is no longer optional, but the roadmap is still not clear? That's what we're digging into today with John. So John, I have to ask, when you first read back on April 23rd about the AI Education for American Youth executive order, what was your immediate reaction and what stood out to you?
Well, being selfish, my immediate reaction was, how is this going to affect my kids?
Of course.
I'm a father of two. I have one in elementary school, one in middle school. And I thought about what it would mean for them in the classroom and how important it is to have this to be a focus within their education. Being in higher education and being a professional, the emergence of AI over the past couple of months and years in the office and in the classroom, it's not been a slow walk into the pool where you can acclimate to the temperature and get comfortable with the water. AI has been more of a leap into the deep end of the pool and finding out just how cold that water can be all at once. So many of us, myself included, I feel like we're all still learning how to swim and navigating this professional world, new world with artificial intelligence. Growing up near the water, of course, my kids learned how to swim at a young age. So through this executive order, it's my hope that they'll be able to learn this technology and use it more efficiently and effectively than professionals like you or I ever could. The challenge actually really did stand out to me. It does appear to encourage and highlight student and educator achievements in AI. So I think that's really neat and something that maybe a lot of school-aged kids would probably get behind, especially when they get into their high school and college years. If there's one thing that I've learned that kids enjoy, it is a challenge. So I'm excited to see what the results will be for our youth in accomplishing these tasks and how they can push forward AI initiatives in everyday life.
So I'll tell you, first of all, I love the whole swimming analogy. Just don't do it after you've had a couple margaritas. Just
here we go again.
Yeah. I'm gonna find ways to bring it back.
Have the margarita, yes.
No, so that's of course your mind went to your kids, right? Like, of course. And I think that the people who are proponents of this new executive order are going to say, like, we're empowering students with real world skills early and with things like dual enrollment and apprenticeships, right? Students, as even high schoolers, can graduate job ready for these AI adjacent fields. But then the problem is, though, like, there's no funding to back any of this up. So the executive order talks a really big game. But I think if you're one of the critics, right, like, it's an unfunded mandate. So asking K through 12, let alone colleges, to do more with the budgets that we already know are shrinking, like, will there actually be any outcomes, or is this just like pie in the sky, like we're going to close our eyes and if we wish it, it'll happen?
Yeah, exactly. No, that's a great point, Mallory. And literally before I got on the podcast today, as we're out navigating our technology and trying to get into the podcast room, the National Education Association reported that North Carolina, where we operate, had dropped from 38th to 43 in teacher pay averages. And that's an embarrassment for the state of North Carolina, I feel like, because, this has been a source of contention for many, many years. But anybody listening to the podcast, wherever they are here in this world, I believe that higher education professionals have been doing more with less for a really long time. So it doesn't come as a complete shock to me that the executive order does not unlock specific funding to grow AI in the classroom. But I do feel like, especially for higher education students, there are, there are going to be gaps that they have to address. And I think probably one of the biggest ones is directly addressed in that executive order is how are instructors utilizing and enhancing the delivery of AI in the classroom. We all know that we're all using it, but there's no consensus, there's no unified means of being able to deliver on what that means for the student experience. So I feel like if we're utilizing AI, it has to be done effectively, it has to be done morally. And with the number of AI options growing, I think that we all want to ensure that our faculty are trained in how to utilize the solutions as most effectively as possible, especially when it comes to the student experience as a whole.
Yeah.
But I also think, in the classroom for students and as they learn, we know that they're utilizing AI when they're completing their homework, when they're delivering on their assignments. We need to be able to utilize AI effectively on their side as well, and making sure that we're upholding the academic integrity of our institutions.
So how do you prepare your team and the faculty at a real school like Pitt to work along these AI tools and these initiatives? Like where is the energy? Where's the resistance?
Yeah, I'm seeing a lot of guarded optimism around the use of AI tools because I think we all know, as I mentioned, we're all using it. But having a team of AI agents to assist us with our prospective students and speaking with them about frequently asked questions as they navigate and investigate what PCC has to offer, it seems to have decreased our phone traffic, which of course our frontline professionals really appreciate because those AI agents appear to be delivering what the students are looking for. But I also believe that energy around AI exploration on our campus seems to be focused more on developing a more efficient way to achieve our menial responsibilities within our roles. But I feel like it's really important for us as a community college to keep an open door, that we keep the human element when it comes to engaging with our prospective students and our current learners as well.
So where are the fastest wins for PCC? Because you and the institution have been early adopters of AI. So in some ways, you're already many steps ahead and maybe even more well prepared for these kinds of executive orders. But the order, of course, it's talking about doing a lot of things all kind of simultaneously, from modernizing advising and tutoring to the career services, as well as, some of the teaching and learning aspects too. So again, where are the fastest wins, and maybe where are you also more cautious?
Well, I'm on the student services side of the house, so I think that the quickest wins would be the utilization of AI in career exploration and developing ways to discover professional goals more quickly. A term that we utilize often at Pitt Community College for new learners attending new student orientation is that we want them to begin with the end in mind, meaning that we want students to begin their college experience determining where they want to get to once they've completed those credentials, whether it's a 4-year transfer to a university or if they're just going straight into the workforce, into their professions. We're finding that many students are coming to college with misconceptions about what that academic pathway is going to entail. They're uncertain about what major they've selected, and in some cases, they don't even have a major in mind at all. They just know that college is the next step. So I feel like we do spend a significant amount of time in our college student success courses helping students to determine whether the major they've selected suits their professional goals or if it's something that they maybe need to consider changing. So I feel like this will be a quick win for AI in that these agents can be developed to deliver these assessments as a conversation rather than a multiple choice form, allowing for students to ask questions and not deliver such a rigid experience. Academic advising is also another great area where I feel like AI can start to expand a little bit. We've already started to experiment here at Pitt Community College with uploading our programs of study and utilizing AI agents to not only help our advisors answer questions, but also give students faster access to their timeline for completion, better descriptors for their courses, and everything they need in order to graduate.
There's like a future world where every student has an AI powered advisor, tutor, just kind of like paired with them, like assigned to them, right? Like from day one.
Just on their shoulder at all times, like a little angel or the little devil sometimes, just telling them the right answers or the wrong answers, which way to go.
I was going to make another margarita joke, but I'll leave that. No, It strikes me that community colleges are like really well positioned here. Like I feel like folks like yourself, like you can move a little bit faster on some of these things, and you've always had that kind of workforce and career readiness component. Maybe more so than a traditional four-year liberal arts school. I went to one, so I'm certainly not knocking them, but I'm just saying, like, seems like community colleges are really poised to come out as winners. Am I right about that?
I think so. Nimble is the word I think that you're looking for when you're talking about community colleges. And kind of as the order states, the workforce of the future will have components of artificial intelligence that future professionals are going to be expected to know. So it's my belief that we can weave these aspects into our curriculum and even start delivering on them as part of the curriculum that they need in order to graduate from college in the first place. It should be standard across the board, and I feel like our curriculum are a little bit more flexible than what you'd probably find at a four-year institution, in that we're meeting market demand. If a business or an industry comes to us and says that they need a professional that can achieve X, Y, and Z, then that's what we build our curriculum around, and that's how we're training our future professionals.
All right, John, if you could give enrollment or student success teams a piece of advice for engaging with AI right now, what would it be?
Start with a large margarita first, but then
Nailed it.
yeah, you're going to need it. But the second piece of advice would be to maybe just not get lost in trying to automate everything. I think that was the first thing that we started kind of getting in the weeds on, was trying to figure out how we can make our tasks easier by utilizing AI. And there are a number of different ways that AI can do that, but just handing the keys over to an AI agent to handle everything is exactly what puts fear in the working professionals within our higher education industry. So I feel like that's probably the thing to avoid. Just embrace the possibilities of what AI can provide, as far as not just enhancing your professional workload, but enhancing our student experiences as a whole. I mean, by freeing ourselves from mundane tasks, I know that AI can help us to become better professionals and even happier people in the long run.
That's excellent advice. And John, I really appreciate you sitting down with me to kind of break down this executive order for our listeners. Folks, come find us on LinkedIn, or if you're going to be at the Engage Summit in June in Charlotte this year, we'd love to see you and probably drink a margarita with you, but also kind of talk about how this has been impacting your day-to-day on your campus, or is it not? Now, we've mentioned that Engage Summit a couple times. I gotta say, the agenda looks incredible. It has recently been released on the website. You can go to engage.element451.com. Some of the standouts for me: Amanda Gully, the chief of product from ASU, is doing a session on day 2. And I see that JC Bonilla, the COO and head of AI at Element 451, has a number of sessions on the schedule, but he's doing one with Matt Wynn from Tambellini that I think is going to be excellent. They're going to be talking about the top trends shaping higher ed. So these are not to miss, y'all. And John will be there. I'll be there. You can use the code ENGAGE50 if you would like to register and get $50 off. Hope to see you in Charlotte. John, it was an absolute pleasure. Any parting thoughts before we wrap up today?
Lots of fun. I enjoy the Pulse very much. I enjoyed them on drive to work every morning.
Thanks.
I absolutely love it. And thank you so much for considering and having me on to the show today.
It was great. All right, friends, we'll catch you next week. Bye-bye. Thanks for listening to the Higher Ed Pulse. The show is a proud member of the Enrollify Network, home to Higher Ed's largest collection of podcasts. Enrollify is where higher ed goes to grow, so be sure to check out our other podcasts, webinars, video clips, blogs, and more. Visit enrollify.org and subscribe for all the latest details and content drops directly to your inbox. Enrollify is brought to you by Element 451, the digital workforce platform for higher ed. Learn more at element451.com.